Hi everyone. Today is 5th October and it's Teachers' Day. And it reminds me of all the people in my life who've taught me so many great lessons. Of course, it starts with our parents, doesn't it, Zainabin?
Agreed, Mariam, 100%.
So it's so incredible how parents, your very first role models, shape the way you look at life. And then later on, we move on to our teachers in our schools, our colleges, university. I mean, what does Teachers' Day bring to your mind?
I think when it brings to my mind countless memories of learning and teaching both. And also when, living in a country like Pakistan, where teaching is not seen as a proper profession, it wants me to stand at a rooftop and yell out aloud and tell everybody that teaching is a proper profession. And now we are living in times where we get a proper degree, we train ourselves, and then we enter a classroom. It's a complete science. So to all those people who think that teachers just enter a classroom, open a book, read from the book, translate it into another language, and come back out of the classroom, and that's what they call teaching, and that when they come home, the teaching day ends. To them, and let us surprise you, teaching is much much more than that. So I think when, like what you said, beginning from our parents, I think each and every day of our life is a teacher. Each and every moment teaches us, isn't it, Mariam? Ben?
Absolutely. Life is your greatest teacher.
So true.
And one thing that comes to my mind when I think about Teachers' Day is it's a cliche, but it's true that we don't remember the content that our teachers taught us, but we do remember how they made us feel.
True
We
that.
do remember sometimes, I do remember how my teachers used to dress up, you know.
I mean, do you have any teacher in mind? I mean, specifically because you talked about personality and
Yes.
dressing and grooming. Do you have any particular teacher in mind? And if I ask you to describe that teacher, like in a way that I can see her or him in my mind, can you do that bit for us?
I think each and every teacher has left a mark on me. I remember I was in a Parsi school, I was in the Mama Parsi girls' school, and I still remember my grade 1 teacher, Ms. Bhagaria, and the heels that she used to wear.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Then my art teacher and how manicured her nails were.
Wow.
My grade 6 teacher and how she used to dress up in vibrant colors. And I think that is such an important part of being a teacher. The way you look, the way you present yourself, that is something that the children are picking up from you all the time.
All the time. And see, after so many years, if Mariam Bain remembers the heels and the nails and the vibrant colors of a teacher's dress, I think that talks a lot about how presentable we as teachers need to be when we go into a classroom. Again, going back to the fact that it's a full-fledged responsibility. So true,
Absolutely.
Bain, so true.
Also, it makes me think about the teachers later on in my life when I was in grade 9, 10, and college and university especially. I had teachers in university who were my friends. We used to talk to these teachers on the phone, you know,
Wow.
and that was the kind of relationship and mentorship that we got. I was really blessed to have such teachers.
You know, Ben, recently I completed my master's from Namal, and speaking of this bond, with all our teachers we shared the same bond. I remember one of our teachers, her name was Miss Ranjita Maharaj, and she took us, for an ice cream date. The entire class together, we sat down. I think it was Rehmate Shiri. Rehmate Shiri. We sat there and we had their famous mango kulfi, and I think it was a last semester, one of the last weeks going on. So that memory has stayed in my mind. So again, a very important quality that a teacher should be such that a teacher should be open, so open that any student can come with any problem in the world and be able to share it without the fear of getting judged upon.
Absolutely.
Very, very important.
So here I think we talk about the role of a teacher as a counselor. And actually that's what we want from a teacher. Somebody who will listen to us, somebody who's going to tell us how to handle a certain problem in what way based on the extra experience that he or she has.
Maybe that is why in the early years, if we see, role modeling is a very important teaching method. I mean, in the early years, you don't write on the board thank you, sorry, and you don't tell the child that if somebody does something, you say, if you've done something to somebody, you say sorry. If somebody gives you something, you say thank you. The teacher does it. She gives something to the child, and the teacher asks the child to say thank you. And if the child does it, the teacher also does it. So the child imitates.
Yes.
As a human, we learn the best from imitation. And also, Mariam, because you talked about colors and dresses, I think there is, if you ask me, I have always been attracted to intelligent people, people who have something to add to my bucket of knowledge. So in that way, one of my teachers, Janab Hashim Bhai, whenever he came to our classroom to teach us, and after that also when I worked with him in a professional setting, he always added to my bucket of knowledge in one way or the other. So that is something that I kind of remember, and I make sure that whenever I am planning my classes, I always add something new, bring something relevant
Yes.
to the class, so that my children, if somebody like me is sitting in the crowd, is able to relate to that teacher.
Yes.
That also is very, very, very important.
I think this applies even more today, because today's learners sometimes know so much more, and we are just facilitators, to be honest. So when you surprise them with a fun fact or something that you, like you said, is relevant, helps them in their actual life, because they question you, how is this going to help us in our life? So that's when you're an actual teacher,
And Mariam Bain, when I began teaching, I was reading a book, it was Karl Marx's book, Marxism. And I was reading about it, and I thought that it's such an important concept, and how will I able to take it to the classroom, chew it down, and give it to the children, because children should know this theory. It was very, very relevant. So I underestimated the students, thinking that maybe if I talk about this theory in the classroom, they will not be able to get it. And one day, out of the blue, we were talking about something relevant, and it just popped up, and I talked about it. I wrote it on the board. I wrote the 1%, 99% on the two sides, and I explained the theory, and I could see that the entire class, their eyes were gleaming, their eyes were sparkling, and they were able to relate to this theory. So like you said, in today's time and date, there is nothing, even if you talk about rocket science in the classroom, these kids are going to get it. So that increases the responsibility of the teacher. Also, it expands the horizon so much. There is so much more room in teaching now for learning, other aspects of the subjects, other philosophies, other theories,
Absolutely.
making it so much more interesting, dynamic.
Yes.
So a teacher is not just a teacher, is a scientist now, is a psychologist as well, is a doctor too, in some way or the other. It's fun. It's fun to
Absolutely,
teach.
absolutely. I think there's nothing more exciting than being a teacher. Every day is an adventure. Every day is a roller coaster.
So true.
With so many young minds looking up to you, depending on you, it is the profession that makes all the difference.
The learner mindset is also very important. I remember I was reading this book by Alimul Haq Hakki, and the name of the book is Ishq Ka Sheen. And in that, there is this main character, his name is Avtar Singh, and there's a dialogue. Avtar Singh says कि मैं जिंदगी का तालिब इल्म हूँ, मैं हर चीज़ से सीखता हूँ, मैं दीवार की तरफ देखता हूँ तो सीखता हूँ, मैं ज़मीन की तरफ देखता हूँ तो सीखता हूँ, मुझे जमादार चौकीदार हर शख्स सिखाता है. So if we have that approach in our life, I think there is nothing that can stop us from learning.
Absolutely. Happy Teachers' Day, everyone.
Same to you. Happy Teachers' Day, everybody.